Hey, what's up everyone? This is Giorgio, your friendly neighborhood YouTuber slash talk show host, because I present to you all another episode of Beyond Wrestling, and I will be reviewing WWE Clash of Champions, and I'll be talking about the pay-per-view main event, which features the WWE Universal Heavyweight Champion in your tribal chief, Roman Reigns, versus his own cousin, Jey Uso. But before I get into the main event, I want to at least talk about the results of the other matches on the card, because I do feel like this was a very good, solid show from top to bottom. And there's one word that comes to my mind throughout this whole card, this whole night, and that is storytelling. And then, WWE, they set the tone right with this show by starting it off with the triple threat intercontinental title ladder match, which, it had the vacant, intercontinental titles, which, there was two champions. There was one which was Sami Zayn. He was the champion before the pandemic started, but he took some time off for obvious reasons, so he never lost the belt. So WWE had to crown a new champion, so they had AJ Styles, and then of course Jeff Hardy beat him. So now that in this match there was bodies flying everywhere. There was ladders being thrown at people's heads. Jeff Hardy landing on the edge of the ladder on his ribs. He hit a swanton bomb off the top of the ladder through Sami Zayn. And speaking of Sami Zayn, we saw just how smart he was, in this match, because he handcuffed Jeff Hardy's ear to a ladder. He handcuffed AJ Styles' arm to a ladder, which allowed him to grab both the Intercontinental titles to win the match. So this was a really great, fun matchup right here. And then of course, they had an ad that was playing for their content, the WWE content that's going to be streaming on the Peacock app, which I know that name is kind of funny, ain't it? But that's pretty cool. That's one more way WWE can get some more ad revenue. And then of course the second match was the Raw Women's title match, which features Zelina Vega versus Asuka. And even though Asuka won, I still think Zelina Vega proved that she's ready for singles competition. And I really like that she proved that she could hang with Asuka. And if she can hang with Asuka in the ring, hold for hold, even though it wasn't a super long matchup, I definitely want to see her in more, singles competition, and hopefully in more women's title matches in the near future. So yes, Asuka, she was able to get the Asuka lock by countering one of, Zelina Vega's unique pinning maneuvers. So that was pretty cool. And then we have match number 3, which was Apollo Crews versus Bobby Lashley for the U.S. title. And Bobby Lashley pretty much showed his dominance in this matchup. He was able to hit the spine buster on Apollo Crews, and then he put the Hurt Lock, which that's the name of their, he called it's basically a full Nelson, but he called it the Hurt Lock because he's a part of the Hurt Business faction with MVP Shelton Benjamin and Cedric Alexander. And one will have to think eventually that Apollo Crews and Ricochet are gonna join this group, because they're both losing, and you could tell that's kind of what they're leading to. But hopefully we don't have to see Apollo Crews and Bobby Lashley or Apollo Crews and MVP again. We need to move on to something new, but it is what it was. It was okay. And then we had match number 4, which was the Raw Tag Team titles, which was Andrade and Angel Garza versus the Street Profits, in which the Street Profits retained the belts. And, it was pretty decent. It was decent. It wasn't anything super spectacular, but I didn't see, I didn't think the Street Profits was going to lose their belts. I really didn't. And so that was cool. And then we had Bayley. She came out, and we had talked about how Nikki Cross wasn't medically cleared to compete. So Bayley then issued an open challenge, to which Asuka came out there, and it was pretty intense, action for a minute, and then Bayley she started using the chair on Asuka, but then out of nowhere Sasha Banks returned, and she started beating the hell out of Bayley with the chair. Then she got some kendo stick shots in, and then they pretty much teased that these two are definitely not done. They may face each other at Hell in a Cell, but I think I could see them facing each other in a chairs match at TLC. And then from there, we had and that pretty much counted as a match, I guess. That was match 5. But then we have match number 6. And that was Drew McIntyre versus Randy Orton for the WWE title in an ambulance match. This one was very, very fun. This one had all kinds of crazy stuff going on in it. And man, you guys definitely want to check this one out too. Drew McIntyre, he was able to get the win. They fought all over the place. We had some cameo appearances from legends like Christian, who attacked Randy Orton backstage. We saw Shawn Michaels interfere and super kick Randy Orton, threw him off the ambulance. And then we even saw Big Show who chokeslammed Randy Orton through the announcer's table. And man, it was a very brutal matchup. But Drew McIntyre got the win. I don't think it was time for him to lose the belt. I think Drew McIntyre should hold on to the title until hopefully we can get fans back into the arena, because there's still a lot of money to be made with him. So I'm glad he kept the belt. And speaking of money, we gotta talk about the main event now, and that is Roman Reigns, the Tribal Chief, the undisputed Universal Heavyweight Champion, facing his own cousin Jey Uso. And this matchup, they really brought the pain in this one. Man, I tell you guys, like, this is something you gotta see for yourself. You gotta see this match for yourself. In this match, it had great storytelling, and that's why I talked about at the beginning of this review. Storytelling comes to mind. This was just amazing. It had drama, it had intensity, it had raw emotion between family, between blood, as they say. It was just that crazy. And and Jey Uso, he showed a lot of heart in this matchup. They had epic stare downs. Also, I gotta talk about the fact that Roman Reigns, he didn't have the vest on in this matchup. He did not have the vest on, so he's slowly shedding the old layers of his character and showing us a new attitude, and this is just a step in the direction for Roman Reigns' new character. So I like that. And then Jey Uso, he had the I don't know what the name of that is from the Samoan culture, but he had this red thing that they used to wear, in the Samoan family. I think it's a red Lee or something like that. Or nonetheless, that was pretty cool. And they both kind of, this match reminded me of that scene from Black Panther with King T'Challa and the Killmonger. How Killmonger was trying to take T'Challa's spot as the king, as the Black Panther, and Killmonger, he felt like it was his birthright to be in that position of power, but King T'Challa was like, I don't think so. You're gonna have to come take it from me. And that's basically what Roman Reigns, he was like King T'Challa. He was saying, hey, if you want this power, if you want to become the tribal chief, you're gonna have to come and take it, and it's not gonna come easy. And I tell you, Roman Reigns, he pretty much showed his dominance in this match. But we also saw the fact that Jey Uso definitely belongs in big time matchups as a single star. This match in my opinion, as much as it was helped, showing us new layers of Roman Reigns' character. It was also telling us, that Jey Uso can hang with anybody in a big time singles matchup, and it allowed him to be on his own, to show his value, and he has it. And he still, of course, represents the Usos tag team with his brother Jimmy, but still, we saw a lot of heart from him. And Uso, he tried the bump move, the little Uso thing that they do in the corner, but Roman Reigns countered with a Superman punch. And then they fought outside for a good bit, exchanging hard right hands with hard right punches, should I say. And then Uso was like, "Come on, bitch!" And then Roman hit him really, really hard. That was crazy. And then Roman, he shows a little frustration, and then they got back in the ring, and then Roman was like, he was telling Jey, "You should have stayed down and take this payday." But Jey Uso wasn't gonna do that. He was gonna try to fight for this, try to fight to be the head of the table, and the head of the family table, should I say. And then of course he then viciously assaults Jey after Jey tries to chop him, but the chop didn't even phase Roman Reigns. Like, Roman Reigns, he looked like he was in probably the best shape we've seen him. And of course, Jey, he ends up trying to make a comeback by throwing Roman Reigns into the ring post. Then he goes for 2 outside dives and a crossbody in the ring, and then Jey hits the super kick on Roman Reigns, all to get a close 2 count. That was crazy. The ref almost counted 3, but it wasn't enough to beat the tribal chief. And then of course Roman Reigns, he managed to bounce back from that, and he hit this cool running leg drop type of move, or the faint asser. That's Billy Gunn's. Actually, no, that was Zack Ryder's type of move. But Billy Gunn does a similar move to what Roman Reigns did tonight, but Roman Reigns did a running, jumping version of it, and it shows you Roman Reigns' athleticism. He's not just a big guy. He's very, agile. He's very fast, and that's really cool. And then of course, Roman goes for a spear, but then Jey Uso counters with a schoolboy, which is like a roll-up pin, and they got Jey Uso a 2 count. And then of course after that, Jey Uso was able to hit the frog splash, or the Uso splash, for a 2 count. And then but Roman Reigns, here's the crazy thing about that: Roman Reigns inadvertently low blowed Jey Uso when he kicked out, and I do think it was it was intentional, because he kicked out very viciously when he raised his right, I think it was his right arm, and that got Jey Uso in the groin area. And then you could see Roman Reigns, he had like this smirk on his face, and that was just something else right there, and then after that, Roman was able to beat on Jey Uso a little bit more. And then Roman Reigns, he pretty much chastises Jey Uso, telling him to call him Chief. But Jey doesn't say it. Jey was like, heck no, I'm not going to do it. And then after that, Roman Reigns threw him into the ropes and hit him with a second spear. And then after that, Roman then viciously punches and chokes Jey Uso. Like, the match got more brutal as time went on. And then after that, Roman Reigns, he then trash talks, referee Charles Robinson, and threatens to beat him up because, at this point of the match, Charles Robinson was trying to stop the match. But Roman Reigns like, if you stop this match, I will destroy you, and you won't you won't be able to work ever again. So it just, man, the level of trash talking that Roman Reigns did in this match was pretty darn cool. I really like that because you don't see that too often. You really don't see this kind of storytelling and matches that much these days, because you always see people flying all over the place, doing all these crazy hot spots, and there's no drama, there's no emotion, there's nothing that really just excites you about that, because everybody does that. So when you get a guy like Roman Reigns with the level of trash talking and just the storytelling that was put on display by him and Jey Uso, it was just crazy. And I would love to see more of this in wrestling. This is when wrestling is at its best. You know, you don't have to do all them high flying maneuvers and high spots. You don't have to do any of that stuff to have a great matchup, and this match proved it. This match showed us what wrestling needs to thrive in 2020 and years beyond. And if we can continue to see this kind of storytelling, I'm telling you, not only will WWE flourish, but I feel like other wrestling promotions will flourish if they continue this storytelling. And then, of course, I gotta go back to the match. You know, after that, you know, Roman Reigns, then he started, I think after that, you know, Jey Uso, which is Jey Uso's twin brother, he comes out, he tries to throw the towel in for Jey, but Jey was like, no, don't do this, you know, because Jey was like, man, this is my moment. If I let my brother throw in the towel, then I'm gonna look like a weak, you know what. But of course, then Roman just pulls Jey in the middle of the ring, just starts hammer fisting him and hitting him with forearms and stuff. And then that was at that point, you know, Jey Uso threw in the white towel. He threw in the towel for his brother to save him, you know. And that was the most emotional moment of this matchup. It was just, you know, it was just out there. It was just out there. If you guys haven't ordered this pay-per-view, please order this just to watch this match. If you don't do anything else, go out of your way to watch this matchup. They do a great job of telling you what led to this moment, what led to this matchup. It was the most intriguing. You know, it was the most intriguing. And even if I didn't have the WWE Network, I would pay for this. I would pay, you know, $59.99 to see this match. I really would. It was that good. And if any wrestling fans are hating on this, they're just bitter. They can't call themselves a wrestling fan if they crap all over this match, because you really have to go out of your way to find something negative to say about this matchup. And the fact that it was between actual family members was just crazy, you know. And it kind of does remind me of the Owen Hart and Bret Hart storyline that they had with each other, you know. Of course, you know, Bret, he pretty much ended up, you know, beating his own brother. And but the storytelling that led up to those matches that they had with each other, it was just amazing. And you know what the funny thing is? Even though Owen and Bret Hart fought each other, you know, years later, back in, I think it was around 97 actually, around 97, you know, Owen Hart eventually joined up with his brother and Jimmy Anvil Neidhart and British Bulldog Brian Pillman. They formed the Hart Foundation, and they pretty much ran dominant in that year. You know, Bret Hart was the world champion. I think Owen was the European champion, or I think he was the Intercontinental champion, though, too. You know, and who knows? Jey Uso might reunite with Roman Reigns. They might form a stable. Who knows what's going to happen next with this? But I definitely want to see more of the Roman Reigns that we saw tonight. Paul Heyman did an excellent job with his facial expressions. You know, it was just that great. I got nothing bad to say about it. I got nothing bad to say about this pay-per-view. Everything just flowed really well. And I hope WWE can keep this momentum up and keep giving us good stories, because that's all wrestling is. It is no different than your favorite reality shows, your favorite live action shows, your favorite drama shows. It all goes back to having good characters and good storytelling, and the wrestling in between can just be decent. You don't even have to put on any crazy great moves. Just be, just have some decent stuff in reaction going on with great storytelling. It's all about how you do things that matters the most. But anyways, that is my review for WWE Clash of Champions in a very condensed simplification of a way, because I can tell you about this, but you got to see it for yourself. And that's the only way you can get the full effect of what happened on this pay-per-view. But nonetheless, Roman Reigns is still your reigning and defending undisputed WWE Universal Heavyweight Champion, and he's still the Tribal Chief, and I don't see that ever changing for a long time. And also, I will say this before I go. On SmackDown, we saw, Alexa Bliss pretty much eyeing up Roman Reigns like she wants to take that belt from the Tribal Chief. She can step up if she wants to, but it's not gonna work, because it's gonna take a lot to beat this version of Roman Reigns, and I can definitely expect him and The Fiend to go up against each other. I'm very curious to see what happens with that going forward. Oh my god, that's gonna be a good story too. Hopefully they can keep this momentum going leading up to the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view, because they did advertise that. They also advertised the WWE draft, and it's gonna start on October 9th on SmackDown. So we're gonna find out which show Roman's gonna go to. One would have to think, I can see WWE possibly putting him on Raw, but I like Roman Reigns on SmackDown. I like him being on that show. It's easy. That show is easy to digest, and I think it's just the perfect spot for him. Putting him on Raw, I just don't think that's a good move. But that's just my honest opinion. But nonetheless, let me know what you all think of this show in the comment section below. Thank you for listening, as however long that you listened, and I got more cool things coming for you all on this channel. So you all be safe, look out for each other, and have a blessed one. Peace out.